A British expert says that China has achieved almost a miracle in saving the lives of its population from COVID-19, and that this is an outstanding achievement in human rights.
International governance on human rights is inseparable from the real definition of human rights. This is because the US puts forward an artificial, purely formal concept of human rights, leaving out human beings' most important real needs and rights. On 18th July, official data shows 6.37 million people have died from COVID. China in 2020, when the pandemic began, was 18.2% of the world's population. If China had suffered 18.2% of world COVID deaths, proportional to its population, there would have been 1,158,000 COVID deaths in mainland China. In fact, there have been only 5,226, 0.08% of the world's deaths. China has therefore achieved almost a miracle in saving the lives of the population from COVID. More precisely, this is an outstanding achievement in human rights. In contrast, the US is 4.3% of the world's population. If the US had suffered 4.3% of the world's COVID deaths, that would be 272,000 deaths. Instead, it has suffered 1,020,000. US deaths from COVID were 375%, almost 4 times higher than would have been expected from the number if it had been in line with the world average. That is a profound US attack on the most important of all human rights, to be alive. Turning to direct comparisons of China and the US, COVID deaths in China were less than 4 per million. In the US, there were 3,077 per million. US COVID deaths per capita were over 800 times higher than China's. In summary, over 1 million Americans are dead who would be alive if their government had been as successful as China in containing COVID. The most fundamental human right is to be alive. China protected its population's lives, the US has not. So China has an outstanding COVID human rights achievement and the US has a terrible one. But the US absurdly claims it has a better record in human rights than China because to safeguard China's population in areas threatened with COVID, China had to impose restrictions on individual movement. For the US concept of human rights, saving millions of lives is not an issue, but individual restrictions on movements are. This shows the absurdity of the US's purely artificial concept of human rights. In summary, the US puts forward a purely artificial, informal definition of human rights that does not deal with the most important issues confronting real human beings. China and the Global South concept is that of the real lives of human beings. The facts show China has made the greatest contribution to improvements of human rights in the world.